Thanks.
The latest on coronavirus, Newton's new home is a bunch of cheaters. Chaz, Chop, and all the rest of that garbage going on in Seattle, Russian bounties, and a whole lot more coming up on today's Wayne Carter Show.
That's exciting. I want to watch this show now.
Hello,
YouTubers.
All you have to do is say the rest
You
of
get hidden content on YouTube. You get the backstory. Tell your friends. Find us more listeners. Trying to make a buck here. We're like Diamond and Silk. We're just white men.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
How are you today?
I am so good, so ready to be here on a Tuesday, my least favorite day of the week.
I know. I don't know. Well,
you do know why.
I know.
We've discussed it, and historically the show shows it. It's a historically slow news day, although today is not the case. That's why I'm excited to be here.
Let's do this.
Tuesday's a slow day. Under mostly cloudy skies for the duration of the day. It is already 81 degrees in Victoria, heading to a convection oven-esque, an Instapot-esque high of 93. T-Lat loves her Instapot now.
Yeah, I don't have one of those.
You can put like a brick in there. So you put a brick, 4 cups of water, and like some chupacabra. And you put the lid on, and you go out in the garage, and you work out for a half hour. You come back in, you've got malleable clay that's got a nice spicy aroma.
Nice.
You could put a Nike tennis shoe in there.
And it'd come out.
It would be a sour, bitter, politically incorrect soup, but it would be there when you come back. It'll break down the molecules of anything. Jeffrey
Is
Dahmer,
it broth or more creamy when you put the Nike in there?
Well, it's probably going to be, I don't know. It's going to be more. It's going to have less substance. Probably more brothy.
Okay.
There's my beautiful daughter Kendall. Good morning. She says, "Good morning, Dad and Wade."
Thank you.
Not Uncle Ash.
No, that's
not even just Ash. Wade. Hello, Wade.
Marvin Mickish, first one in this morning. David Glass, good morning.
Kendall's up early.
She's got things to do.
By the way, I don't do this. I do this shamelessly because obviously Atzenhofer is a great sponsor for us, and Atzenhofer does sell Cadillacs. But if you're in the Houston area and you're listening to us, my daughter Kendall sells Cadillacs for Sewell Cadillac out in Katy. Is that Sewell Cadillac of West Houston? It's in Katy. Go out there, and she will hook you up with a Cadillac.
She's pretty good at it, too.
What's so funny, Kendall and I have talked on numerous occasions, I may have even mentioned it to you, about creating a pilot for a television show, probably need to be on Netflix, called The Dealership. And it's where you would talk about all the backstories and holdback and the reality of the car business. Oh, I got them down to, $1,500 below sticker price. Yeah, they made $8,000 on that car, but that's okay. You can have all of the deal where there's that one girl that says Kendall wouldn't play this role. But you've got that one girl that sells cars, but she sleeps with all the guys in Make Ready. You need it to be on Netflix to make it salacious enough to be entertaining.
Yeah, because
Friends wouldn't sell now. There's not enough sex.
True. No.
But the dealership would have endless. I mean, I've already heard so many stories.
Stop talking, start doing.
Yeah, they make me cry. Right. Have a point. Here's an interesting thought. Have a point. Anyway, Kendall, go kill him today, baby.
Scott Tomp goes in. There's the Iceman, H.R. Mallory, Judge Posey. Good morning,
Judge.
Bobby Leister, C.W. Bean, Randy Langston, Karen Webb, Vanessa DeDeer.
Hi, Vanessa.
Sheriff Louderback.
Sheriff. Good
Bobby Leister, still at 66. It's a good number. We'll hold there for a while.
I want to get to 69.
Chris Conrad, good morning. Christina Wise, Clayton Helt, Adam Daughtry,
Roger
Rena
Daughtry's brother. We've got all the one-offs. Everybody's one connection away from famous people, except Funk Trey Molina. He's in Corpus. He says, good morning. Rena Shears again. She's looking good.
Scott Snow, Matt Boucher, Missy Klimacek, Clint Ives.
Commissioner, good morning.
Patrick Strauss, Mike Bloschke, Robert Bird, good morning. We're huge in Arkansas. I know at least 2 listening from Arkansas this morning.
That's a full set of teeth.
Steve Kidder, Lisa Poole, Randy Langston.
Marty Stockman.
Says what? Free caddies? Crystal Stringham. Who else is in?
Crystal Howlett Stringham. That's a Canadian?
No, I don't think so. Steve Kidder. See who else? There's Don Nicole.
T-Lat's there.
Chris Jansen, Johnny Houghton. Good morning.
Good morning, T-Lat.
Monica Jost, Paul Ebner. I think we're caught up. Andy Ria Jr. Didi Geigel. Man, they just keep piling in. Dwayne Payne.
Great group.
Sherry Lynch.
Hi, Dwayne. Clayton Meyer.
Morning, everybody.
So Clint Ives, seeing Clint Ives there is good time. And Clint, if we misspeak here, please call us 575-9509. Clint Ives joins Judge Zeller, Robin Moore Knipling, who is the county's tax grant writer.
Yeah. She's
the one that goes to the government and says, we need money for this. Does a fantastic job. She told me that. So Zeller, Ives, Knipling, and then like somebody from the Office of Emergency Management or a couple other people that are going to be on a committee to decide where to spend $1.36 million that was brought in through the coronavirus, relief and ease of pain and make yourself feel good act. And basically the state's throwing around some money. And hats off to Clint for being on that committee. He, Zeller, Robin Moore Knipling, and a couple others. So they're going to figure out where the county needs to spend this money. You and I were musing on the way in, as we talk about the coronavirus, I still contend that, so all of this ado about the numbers rising, wearing your mask.
146 yesterday. Right?
146. Whoa, 146. All of this goes away. It goes away if the county has.
On November 3rd.
Oh, no doubt. If Joe Biden wins, there's a cure. This all goes away if the county has 10 more ICU beds. That's a fact. It's a fact. Victoria now has 32 active cases.
In the hospital.
Right? I mean, there's, believe it or not, folks, there's probably thousands of active cases in Victoria.
We don't know about.
Right. But there's 32 active cases in the hospital. They're not in ICU. They're in the hospital. We could break it down any way you want. I'll bet you the majority are elderly. That said, the surrounding area, DeWitt, Lavaca, Refugio, Calhoun, there's only 45 cases in all of these counties. So there's only 13 more in all the surrounding areas out of the plus the 32 we have here.
So it's not 45 plus 32?
No, it's 45 total. And we're shutting down the world, man. And here's the bottom line. Bottom line, 8 people have died. We already know of several of those that are questionable. Guy got hit by a car, died of a head wound, tested positive in the morgue. Ching, add him to the list. 8 people have died. So 146 people added to the roster yesterday. 8 people have died. 31 the day before, 8 people. 39 before that, 54 before that, 45 before that. These numbers are not lost on me. 8 people have died. I'm tired of this. I visited with a small business owner yesterday. Has what the TABC calls a bar because more than 51% of their revenue is derived from alcohol sales. So they're a bar. Got no problem with that. That's how the TABC decides who has jurisdiction to govern that business. This guy's also got a full kitchen, makes the best pizza in town, has a world-class hamburger,
Pretty good wings.
paid his rent every month with to-go food during the last shutdown. TWBC says you're shut completely because you're a bar, so you're shut. Too much government.
Doesn't even have the opportunity to open up like it did the first time, right?
Right. So if you don't agree with that statement, too much government, then let me throw this back at you. Las Palmas, good restaurant here in town. Restaurant, less than 50% of their revenue comes from booze. Raise your hand if you've ever driven through and said, yeah, give me the $8 chips and hot sauce and 2 margaritas to go. I guarantee you their alcohol sales have gone up during the pandemic. And good for them. Hypocritical, selective, too much government. Government is best that governs least. People left to their own devices will find a way to survive. This idea that the
Most of them.
well, and the ones that don't deserve to croak. If you're old and sickly, stay home. Wear a mask. If you're young and have bills to pay, go to work. Wear a mask, social distance, wash your hands. Young people are getting it. Hopefully, young people are getting immunity. They're getting antibodies, but they ain't dying. 8 people, folks. This has been going on for 6-8 months.
Randy Langston asks now that they have mandated masks, or any businesses handing out masks to their customers. I don't know. I haven't seen any, but I haven't been running around the town either.
I think this is a pillaging of our economy by people with bad intentions.
You think?
I do. I think this is a governmental coup. Seems awfully odd that we were setting records month over month over month on the stock market. And then, now this is it's just all in the toilet. Pat McDonald, I hope you're feeling better.
Thought it was interesting that the nation's pediatricians have come forward. American Academy of Pediatricians strongly advocates that all policy considerations for the coming school year should start with the goal of having students physically present in school. They say schools are fundamental to child and adolescent development and well-being. And they're citing mounting evidence of transmission of coronavirus by young children is uncommon, partly because they are less likely to contract it in the first place.
There was a comment from a frontline healthcare worker right there. It says, we test people every day in Harris County. One more up. I'm sorry. Right there. Ray Marino says, no, as a frontline healthcare worker, not all tests are positive. I work in Harris County. We test daily. I have negatives and positives. It's just more positive people. Oh, they said the positive people don't take the problem seriously. If you test and you're positive, I think you're irresponsible to go out and not do what you can to mitigate the problem. I mean, you're crazy to test positive and go hug your loved ones.
Yeah, she says it's just more positive because people don't take this virus seriously. I think people are taking it seriously. But
I'm not convinced this mask makes any difference except in your head. You see these people all the time. You see them all the time. Walking through the store with their mask down under their nose. They've got their hands on the buggy at HEB and they're wiping their face. I mean, there's a million ways to get the virus besides airborne is probably the least effective way to get the virus. Picking it up off a surface, off of someone.
No, I think airborne actually is.
Is that the most common way? So I'm glad we got to clear that up. I was on a roll. I'm not saying I'm not wrong, people. I'm simply saying that it's at the end of the day, if we had 10,000 positive cases in Victoria, 32 people in the hospital, and 8 deaths, are you shutting down the world? Because we probably do have 10,000 people in Victoria with it. We probably do.
Yeah, it'd be about 10% of the county, probably right.
That's where I'm at. Life needs to go on. Hey, man, people die. Just because used to when I was a kid, people died of old age. He had a great full life. No, now they die of congestive heart failure brought on by renal shutdown via dehydration and
rhabdomyolysis.
Yeah, come on, man. The guy was old and he died. People get sick.
Well, they got to be able to say that, so then they can fund government money to go fund causes of death and keep lab people working, right?
I guarantee it. Now, I haven't heard any more about the 13,000 for a COVID admission and 39 for a COVID-related death. Have you?
No, I haven't heard much of that, and I think it was hard to even corroborate whether or not that was just a bunch of memes going around the internet or.
No, I think there was some incentive to reach out to the government. We got to have help. But I'll tell you this: this coming back full circle to Clint Ives and
Senator Caslow says it's a coup.
Maybe, there's no doubt. Maybe that 1.36 million, maybe the county at the county-owned hospital ought to fund a couple more ICU beds.
Well, because that seemed to be a big narrative Friday when the mayor was talking about the mask ordinance and shutting and taking the action that he took was, and I'm paraphrasing, but what if July 4th weekend we have a big accident and the ICU fills up? Or we need those ICU beds. I've lived here 20 some odd years and we've never had a big accident on July 4th. Yeah, well, one day. Asteroid's going to hit the earth too.
You don't build churches based on the
Christmas
and Easter service. You don't build hospitals based on worst case scenarios. I get it that we're trying to flatten the curve. People never understood that flattening the curve didn't mean people weren't going to get this virus. They're still going to get it. I'm telling you now, there are a number of small businesses in this community that simply cannot suffer through another shutdown. You want to talk about Victoria looking like Sinton.
Why didn't we take the other way as well? If I'm a business and I'm at capacity, or I know I need more capacity, I knock out a few walls, I expand my business.
Right.
So why didn't we flatten the curve and at the same time hospitals around the country start adding a little bit more ICU capacity?
Sure. Temporary ICU. You could set up an entire area.
Maybe. I don't know. Can you? I don't know if you can do temporary ICUs. I think you could, but I don't know. I'm not a hospital administrator.
Well,
but it seemed like we only attacked this on one front.
It seems to me that ICU for corona patients basically means heightened nurse presence and isolation. It means that you're not around the general floor population. You're not walking down the hall with your IV going, I don't feel so bad. We're going to have one great idea to share after the break. Stay tuned for one great Wade and Carter idea. Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. That's the number you need when your car won't go. It's just that simple. You have a fender bender, you run out of gas, a wheel falls off. Honey, I was telling you, 578-6300. Allen will come, secure the situation, get you to safety, get your vehicle where it goes. Your vehicle goes to Atzenhofer. The Atzenhofer dealership works on all makes and models of vehicles. Paint and body shop, service. Maybe you trade it in on a gently pre-owned vehicle, or you buy a new Cadillac, Chevy, Mitsubishi, Mazda. They've got it all. Allen's to Atzenhofer. After you leave Atzenhofer, call GSM Insurers, and I'll take care of your insurance. The VCS companies, Rocket Oilfield Services, and the only locally owned and authorized AT&T retailer.
Give them a call. Stop by.
As we approach anarchy, you are living with your head in the sand. If you don't have a generator from Win Electric, and you don't have a surveillance and security system from the VCS companies, your head is in the sand. I have the full meal deal. Windows sensors, door locks, remote controls, 1080p cameras, $50 a month. You're out of your mind if you don't buy it.
Gun turrets on the roof.
I've got it all. 50 caliber ammo. It's there. Drones.
50 caliber ammo with 45 caliber guns.
I've got it all. They're right there on Kerr Boulevard. Call the VCS companies with all your communication needs. And then kick back in a nice recliner. from Chesnick Furniture Company, 116 West Juan Lynn, the corner of Juan Lynn and Bridge.
50% off all furniture as they celebrate 100 years in business.
Just a fine, fine Victoria business.
They have a great brand. Best brand.
Yes.
Nice recliners.
Beautiful.
Go
chairs.
check one out.
And you can go in and custom make your materials. It's a beautiful, beautiful setup. Bobby Leon and his family have been doing this for 4 generations. 3 in this case, but 4 for most people. They live a long time. Bobby Leon, great guy. So here's one great idea. Came to me yesterday as I dined at Veracruz. I had my compuesto.
Yeah.
You do the tostada, the chalupa shell. And you put beans, ground meat. I put the white cheese on it, queso blanco on there. Lettuce, tomato, big dollop of guacamole, and then I put serrano peppers on top. That's the Wade and Carter compuesto. Well, I did 2 of those yesterday. They look like big boobs, like from the river trip. And that's what some of those boobs look like. Big, warty peppers on them and green like guacamole.
Nice.
Tattoo.
Thank you for that.
But I digress. The restaurants are at 50% capacity. We need local businesses, especially if you've got more than 10 employees. Send half your people to lunch from 11:30 to 12:30, and the other half of your people to lunch from 12:30 to 1:30. Now the demand is at 50%. So half your people can go to Veracruz from 11:30 to 12:30, and the other half can go from 12:30 to 1:30. In theory, if the same number of people ate out every day, yada, yada, yada,
Yeah.
we've cut the demand in half. Half are going 1 hour, half are going. How many times do you walk into a restaurant?
We're at capacity.
We're at
No.
capacity, and it's because everybody's going to lunch from 12 to 1. So get with your peers and agree on some folks where half can go 11:30 to 12:30, and the other half can go 12:30 to 1:30. It makes perfect sense. And that's a Wade and Carter great idea. What else you got?
Mary Marino says, don't get me wrong, I'm glad people are testing, but they aren't. I think she says they aren't quarantining or nothing like they're supposed to.
Right,
Also, a lot of positive tests from people who have no symptoms, just exposure.
right. Well, there's lots and lots of dumb people in our midst, Ray. I mean, if I'm sick, I'm going to stay home. And if I'm sick, I'm going to quarantine to protect those that I love. And I get it. And I'll bet you, I would say it's 50-50 that I've been exposed. I mean, 50-50.
Probably.
And I just am asymptomatic because I drink Teflon. But the reality is we're all going to get it or we're immune to it. So get over it and get on with your life. This is all smoke and mirrors, the government coming in to rescue you because you're too stupid to do it on your own. Raleigh McCoy, bless his heart, he's an old man. He needs to stay home and quit telling me how to live. Raleigh, seriously, he doesn't have the same perspective I do. He's got money in the bank. He doesn't have to go work. Government needs to stay out of my life.
Jonathan Williams says they did add ICU capacity in New York. There you go.
Yeah,
did
they
bring
brought
a
in boats and nobody ever needed to be on them. The whole thing was a big hoax.
Waste of money.
Absolutely.
Didn't they put up a big hospital tent?
Yeah, they
At,
did one in Houston.
in Houston,
at NRG, and
yeah.
never used it. There's Jake. Nobody ever needed the tent in Houston. Why don't we just put up a tent?
Jennifer Castle says Governor Inslee in Washington said Yakima Hospital's beds were all full. The next day, the hospital clarified, said it had 50 beds, but they were short-staffed.
Yeah. I
Big difference in the narrative.
I trust and respect and emphasize trust John McNeil. His job is to minimize. He daily watches the hospital admissions. That's his job. That's what he does. It's his job to be not paranoid, but worst case scenario driven. Okay? The rest of us have got to make money to pay taxes, to pay for Dr. McNeil. So there's 2 different perspectives here. I think Raleigh's gotten way out of his deep end. And I believe I mean, I've been hearing it from folks all around. Oh, this is one-term Raleigh. One-term Raleigh. Well, I wish him the best. But I don't think that Raleigh McCoy needs to tell me how to live. And put it this way, I'm not listening to how Raleigh McCoy says for me to live.
I thought it was interesting yesterday. You know, you've got staffers at stores clearly uncomfortable asking people to either not come in or put a mask on.
Right.
You know, your $8, $10 an hour till worker
Right.
is having to police that. Clearly uncomfortable with it. But I ran out of dog food yesterday. I had to go get some. Imagine that. I had to go get some dog food.
Tractor Supply.
Yeah, I wasn't going to name the store, but yeah. So
well,
people,
can.
I mean,
they do a good job.
Well, yeah, no, and they did, but it's not a knock on them. It's a knock on the people walking in the store. I'm not one of these. Well, I'm going to drive to another city because I don't want to wear masks.
Right. Me.
I don't fault the business for having to do business under conditions that they've been ordered to do business under.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Kind of, yeah. But you get these idiots. I'm walking in, I put my mask on, I had a friend make masks, send them to the family. It was very nice.
They sure say I'm gay on it in big letters.
Nice bright green.
Rainbow.
No, bright green. Lime green.
Sorry.
It's very, very.
It's just out
very, very.
You're one of the Skittles.
Festive.
You're one of the Skittles.
And anyway, two people walk in front of me, both not wearing masks, and I'm just sitting there going, "Hey, dudes, you're not getting in."
Right.
So the clerk, who clearly is uncomfortable, excuse me, sir, you have to have a mask to come in here. Excuse me, ma'am, you have to have a mask to come in here. And these people weren't together. So then they both pull them out of their pocket. Why do you make this guy making $10 an hour have to be and then you view him as the mask a-hole, right?
Right, sure.
When you got the damn thing in your pocket, just put the damn thing on and get on with it.
I agree with you. This moment of outrage brought to you by Mr. Apocalypse. There's Brian Sherrill. Hook 'em horns, Brian, checking in. We don't know what UT football is going to do. He's a Missouri guy, but he's in South Dakota. He called that a road trip.
Yeah.
We call that a day trip in Texas, buddy. We just whip over there and whip back. But, I'll tell you something.
And here's why I'm wearing a mask. I talked with my mom yesterday. She's like, "Do you have a mask?" I said, "Yeah, wear it." Okay, so I listen to my mom. I wear my mask.
Legit. Let me tell you this, though. It's easy. If you're not careful, you can get very pompous and self-righteous behind your mask. I yesterday was going to HEB, and at Dawn's, not request, Dawn told me, wear your mask. So I did. I have a nice little blue mask. You're green, I'm blue. I put my mask on, and I strode into HEB. I found myself looking at people who were just like me the day before, walking through the store without a mask. I was going, oh, he doesn't have a mask on. That guy probably ought to have a mask on. And the next thing you know, I was feeling kind of sanctimonious. I almost said to someone, where's your mask? And then I realized that I really didn't care, and I was only wearing it because Dawn told me to. And it wasn't doing anything but making me breathe my own breath, cutting my oxygen levels, making me lightheaded. That's all it was doing.
Kelly Frogme says at this point, Raleigh might be happy to be a one-termer.
Yeah, no, I tell you what, I have told people, and I hadn't, I'll say it this morning, I have not said this publicly because I was so blessed to have so many quality people that I adore, great friendships that were made and enhanced. I've got absolutely zero regrets about running for mayor. I don't like to lose at anything, and thank God I don't lose nearly as much as I win at anything. But I would, never run again. There's no chance I would try to help this hellhole again for all the money in the world. And B, I thank God that I didn't have to oversee this debacle of government interference where I've got to get up there and try to tell somebody that I agree with Governor Abbott and all that, because I'm just not wired that way. I'd rather be right here telling you the truth, making you think, hopefully make you laugh about it, and move on down the road. Raleigh McCoy bought that election, and he deserves what he bought. So good for Raleigh. But at the end of the day, I'm glad I ain't Raleigh.
I don't know that I want to be in that situation.
Yeah.
I can't run. But, yeah.
Wow, Will Kane from ESPN is taking a job with Fox and Friends.
Interesting.
Yeah, he is a Texas grad. I'm surprised. Well, Fox and Friends.
Well, there's no sports right now.
Well, that's a good point. And maybe
Job
he was
security.
low enough on the ESPN poll, totem pole,
Maybe so.
His totem pole, is that, can you say that anymore?
I don't think so anymore.
What would you call that?
First in, first out. No, first in, last out. So last in, first out. That's
Right.
probably what it was.
Probably
Last
what it
in.
was. Totem pole's not.
And think about it from
politically
Fox's
correct.
perspective. Not a huge name, an up and comer. They can get him probably for a lot cheaper than they could somebody else.
Christopher Connor sounds like a you problem. Yes. No, it's definitely a me problem, Christopher. Thank you. Thank you for the reality check.
Pat McDonald says not about mass, about attitude. A lot of different views. Thank goodness maybe someone will be well and you and
you as your brother.
You're a riot.
Well, there's and Pat, you know, for example, I know your situation. You know that we adore you, and at the same time, Ash is on one side, and my job is to try to make people think about the other side of the pancake. I have no problem if someone's compromised, if someone is positive, or if someone like the elderly. I do everything I can to protect them, and that includes wearing a mask. I still think 6 feet is sufficient. I mean, I just do.
Except in this,
unless you're running.
Except in this room, because you can't really be 6 feet apart in this tiny sweat box.
You gave it to me. In fact, I've still got a rash on my right side I can't get rid of that I know I got from you.
My left side I got from you. So I think it's bed bugs. Maybe they jumped off of you and landed on me.
Now you're gonna upset Dawn. That's gone.
I'm just curious because I'm no immunologist, virologist, but everything that I'd ever been taught and told, we didn't practice from the get-go with this thing. Protect the most vulnerable. Didn't do it.
Right. Loaded them back up into the rest homes.
And told everybody else to suffer and change what they're doing.
I'm convinced it's almost biblical. A little child will lead them. I'm convinced that these kids getting it and spreading it amongst themselves are going to create a herd immunity that's going to help the world.
Missy Yearwood, I think you and everybody else, except some people who I think don't want it to go away yet. Missy says, I want it all to go away.
Well, the Democrats don't. You can rest assured of that because this is their only hope. You'll never see another debate. There will not be a debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. He's not going to get up there and try to articulate a sentence because Donald Trump would stand there and then all of a sudden he would look at Joe and go, what?
Well, the other day, what did he say? 120 million people have coronavirus?
Yeah. I mean, that guy is such an idiot. And it's not really his fault. He's got a medical condition. I don't understand why, as a voting taxpayer base, why can't we demand that Joe Biden be tested for dementia? Don't we ever? I want to vote for Joe Biden, but I need to know that they used to make him take a physical and all that. Why can't we have him take a mental acuity test?
If we want to see tax returns, what the heck is more important?
If he can complete a sentence, right?
Can we see there? Can we?
Pat, you're not my elderly.
Rob Prather says one side of the pancake tends to get burned.
It does. It does at times. That's true.
Christina West says the other side of the stand cake.
Exactly.
That's me.
We try to flip them in equal portion here and keep everything fair, equitable.
Brian Sherrill may sum it up best. It's a matter of common sense, which unfortunately isn't very common anymore.
Miranda summed it up best.
Yeah, we can't read that. Yeah.
I'm sorry. What did Brian say?
So it's a matter of common sense, which unfortunately isn't very common anymore.
Well, that's exactly right, buddy. And you've nailed it. Now, what Brian's doing right now, he went to South Dakota. He probably wanted to go see Mount Rushmore before they have to blow it up for political correctness. And then he's probably going to find a place to fish.
Jimbo Slice says he's wearing the Zorro mask every day.
Nice. There's BJ Nelson. It's a great time to tell you about White Trash Services, 550-1826. If you've got a huge project, if you've got to need a roll-off dumpster, If you need trash service in the 6-county region and growing,
they're going to be down in Holiday Beach, Rockport real soon.
You know, I bet you BJ.
Which county's that? Is that
Aransas.
Aransas? Okay.
It won't be long. BJ will probably have to have a house in Rockport on the water to go down to supervise that. She'd probably gonna be trying to do something in Kendall County for that place in New Braunfels to just go and make certain that everything's being done properly. White Trash Services, when you call, you get a human being. You don't get a recording. It's going to be funny one of these days if that has to change, because that's one of the big things we talk about. 550-1826. 550-1826. Veracruz, we talked about already. Great lunch yesterday. Recommend you getting in there today. Tomorrow's call to a day.
You can get it to go still, 576-6015. If you
Absolutely.
don't feel like you're not comfortable still going into an establishment?
They want you comfortable. I was there yesterday. Everybody's wearing a mask. They're all very, very conscious. They're all there to make you feel good and have a great dining experience. The folks at Razor IT Solutions help you have a great internet experience, Facebook presence, collecting money, interfacing with your accounting software, studying your analytics, protecting your data, seeing who's in and out on your website.
All your social media, they can get it all working seamlessly.
All the stuff you don't understand about your computer,
they do.
John Paul Hull does. In fact, John Paul's probably already hacked into your computer. SCT Building Systems, Clayton and Casey Help. They'll help you with your next project. A she shed, a barn dominium, bricks and sticks, concrete form, metal building, anything you need. They can push and pull on the plan and show you the best way to optimize your space.
Give them a call, 564-8864. That's the number to call, Clayton and Casey Help, and they can answer all your questions and get the job done.
On top of that, they're great folks. GDP Techs, 550-4744. That's our buddy Dwayne Proctor with all your computer needs. If you need help with updating software, if your computer's too slow, extremely reasonable, tell them Wade and Carter sent you, 550-4744. And then, of course, Compadres Design. I went by Compadres yesterday. They are doing practical common sense. Our buddy Jay Soule is in remission from cancer. He's susceptible. You walk up to the door, you call them, they come outside and visit with you. It's beautiful. It's common sense. Compadres, common sense for your business. Reach out to them today.
I don't want to put words in Jay. I'd like to know someone in Jay's position. I know where my mom and I talk all the time. She's got COPD.
She still likes your brother better.
No, not at all. She's got COPD. She's very vulnerable to COVID and is adamant that the world doesn't shut down for her because she's got a health condition that puts her at more risk. There's the personal responsibility that we talk about that so many don't have, but others do, like her. And she doesn't want to see the world end. She doesn't want to see everybody lose their jobs.
Right.
She's the one staying home because it protects her. That's the personal accountability. That's the personal responsibility that society has lost over the last 30 years. There's no individual accountability anymore. But my mom grew up at a time when your actions, you owned them. You're responsible for them. She's staying home to protect herself.
She sounds like an American. Can we just get Tina down here? God bless America.
Border's closed. She can't get in.
She's up there singing "Oh Canada." Tomorrow's Canada Day.
It is Canada
We're going to
Day.
find out what that means because we have no clue what it means. Pat McDonald says, please give with Dr. John McNeil and hear what is going on this week. See what your dollars are paying for today. John McNeil is, I think, one of the great assets of our community. And that's not just because we're friends and I've known him for 40 years. John is a great, no-nonsense voice in this sea of lunacy. I would like to get John on the air. Unfortunately, my thought is that John did so many daily updates that he didn't want to talk to us two knuckleheads. There's Torrin Bales. Good morning, my friend. Another guy we put out of business.
Amy Wilburn, good morning.
Hi, Amy.
Who else? Hayden Redding checking in. Who else? I saw a couple others check in, I thought.
Hayden Redding checked in?
Yeah.
Did
Peter McNally, good morning.
Right for once.
Peter McNally, good morning. Rena Shearer says your mother sounds like a wonderful lady.
She
really
is. She is a wonderful lady.
She's awesome. This guy says she's a woman's woman. She is.
She lets me call her Aunt Tina. I think she probably likes you first, then me, then Corky.
Probably.
That's my thought.
You think so?
No.
No.
She's a sweetheart.
Where do we want to go next? Do we want to shift gears completely, or do we want to talk about the next potential pandemic?
Oh, okay, Piggy. Talk to me.
Apparently, Chinese researchers have discovered a swine flu that could jump to humans, as they found about 10% of people who work in pork-producing plants, I had to say that carefully, have come up with this flu that I think they call it G4. It's related to the H1N1 swine flu. Your current flu vaccines won't protect you from it. I don't think it's killed anybody. Haven't we had enough flus from China?
It's true.
Why do we keep researching this crap?
Well, I don't understand why don't we just isolate China? Let's just isolate them. Quit buying stuff from them. Quit dealing with them. Pat McDonald made a great point. Go vote today, folks. I'm going to tell you, T-Lat and I yesterday, I picked her up.
Says leave my bacon alone.
You're going to have the Iceman. I haven't seen him in this morning, but he'll be talking about jerky prices.
No, he's out. He says he's going to Manitoba to get ice.
I picked T-Lat up yesterday at 11:45. We left VCS. I drove to the Patty Dotson. We walked in, exchanged pleasantries, voted, and were seated at Veracruz before noon. I drive kind of fast, but I mean, when I got there were two people in line in front of me. I'm going to tell you something. We had Dale Fowler on yesterday. We've got Justin Marr coming on tomorrow. And I'm telling you, if you don't think your vote matters in this election, you are sorely mistaken. I mean, we were only there 5 minutes. T-Lat and I were two of the four voters I saw.
Scott Tomko says he went and voted 0800 yesterday. Lines are moving very well.
Iceman says jerky prices are no joke. Thank you. Justin, I just wanted to make sure you were safe, buddy.
He's trying to find. Sky Sanchez says, can you imagine what the cost of turkey will be by November?
It's crazy.
Can't even imagine.
Beef prices are, I just never would have thought, growing up, what's that lady's name? Nifa that kind of gets credit in Houston for kind of bringing the fajita to the world. And I know it's wrong. It's probably been being done by the Mayans, centuries ago. I'm not trying to discredit anybody's
heritage. Christopher Columbus didn't land there.
Absolutely. But the fajita, it's just barely above tripe. Which is just barely above click and treat and spam. The fajita is not a choice cut of meat until you find a way to marinate it.
Tripe is below spam.
So okay, that's a matter of opinion. You ever had any fried tripas? Anyway, if you can take fajita meat, which is tough as nails, and tenderize it and soak it in beer and do what you have to do to it, put some muriatic acid on it, and then grill it for 3 minutes and eat it semi-rare, it's really good meat. But
no, it's really good tasting meat.
Right. It's kind of like that Nike. I went and bought a little packet of beef. It had two skirts in it. It was like $32. Well, that got me curious. So when I was at Sam's, I walked through. Sam's has the best meat. I walked through, and there was a brisket over there. Now, it's all USA choice. It's Angus. Sam's really only uses the best cows. Well, it's a brisket. It's the best fatty neck meat you can get. And the stuff was $127 for this brisket. Then I found out our buddy Jonathan Arterberry and Uncle Mutt's, they're limiting the number of briskets he could even buy.
Yeah.
Much less, cutting into his profit. because he can't pass along all of that to you.
Scott Tonko says the Packers are killing us. Talked to a cattleman the other day. On the hoof isn't selling that high.
Marvin McCush must have an inside deal, $11.82 a pound. I mean, I used to buy ribeyes for $11.82 a pound. Back in the day, gas was 57 cents. I didn't mean to be that old.
I don't think I paid $20 for the first brisket I ever smoked.
No. But you were smoking funny things. Dun.
Ratatouille says team vegetarian.
Yeah, there's no place for that. I'd get real pale. I mean, I'm a vegetarian. I like a little fish, maybe some chicken, a steak once in a while. But I mean, I'm a vegetarian. What I have fallen back in love with, you can go to Sam's and buy it's a 5-pound bag. Carrots, cauliflower, broccoli, and that might be all. And you throw that out in a pan, drizzle it with some olive oil, put a little chupacabra on it, stick it in the oven for 35 minutes. Man, that cauliflower will set you free.
Isn't it really soft if you put it in there for that long? What do you cook it at?
Like 350. No, it's almost kind of crunchy on the top, but then it's tender in the middle.
Okay. Just seems there's nothing worse than overcooked vegetables that are mushy.
Yeah. Like when you eat asparagus out of a can. Oh,
please don't. That's
right. Isn't that a gross thought?
Just I can.
Yes. Let's not go there.
I didn't know asparagus was fresh.
I didn't either.
And then the minute you crack that can and you get that gross smelling water, oh God.
Same thing. You know, the other thing that's so drastically different. Yes. Something else that's drastically different from a can is a peach. There's slide. Remember, you're trying to cut it. It's sliding all over the plate.
It's like trying to stab a grape with a fork.
Right.
Hard to do.
Got a really sharp.
But the peach syrup makes it. That's the only thing that saves any fruit in a can is the syrup in the can.
Well, this is a very true statement. Jimbo Slice's voter apathy is a major problem in our country, and you're exactly right. And I'll tell you something. I'm just telling you, if you want the right to second guess our next sheriff or tax collector, whether it's Ashley Hernandez or David Hagan, you need to get out and vote. If you want to have a voice in the conversation about Justin Marr or Dale Fowler, you need to get out and vote. It doesn't take but a minute. And I'm telling you, in these times as an American, a good voter turnout sends the message that we're not going to roll over and take it from our government. We have been lulled and we've become apathetic. We've become a culture of people that just, it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. As long as my 401k goes up, I don't care. Guess what? Your 401k ain't going up. You better get out and vote.
Kind of coincides with the fact that this country's become lazier and more obese. We don't seem to put any effort into, as a nation as a whole. We've stopped putting effort into a lot of things.
Yeah, no doubt. No, there's no doubt.
Relationships, health care, healthy living, healthy lifestyles, voting.
That's just me and you.
Yeah.
I mean, no telling what other people have done. We did tell you today's a great day to get to Uncle Mutt's. Support these businesses that give back so much. Uncle Mutt's has been instrumental in the success of Warriors Weekend, for example. Ron Koshin loves Katina Arterberry and Jonathan. Get by there today for brisket, ribs, sausage, chicken, turkey. They've got it all. Uncle Mutt's rice, green beans, pinto beans, fried corn, pea salads, coleslaw, potato salad.
A gazillion different sides. They've got it all.
Cabbage. You like the cabbage?
Yeah, the cabbage is good.
Why is it that we like all those things that historically give people gas?
Because they taste good.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
What happened?
Carry on.
Oh,
plug us in and we're going to lose them.
We're going to lose our power source. Great Barn Design won't lose its power source because Cheryl tells Ash, plug in the computer. 920-6803, Great Barn Design will help your next event be eventful. You ever go to a wedding and you're just kind of like, meh. Sometimes they're cute when the bride, decorates the tables, but sometimes they're just not. Sometimes more is not better. Sometimes less is more.
That's when you need an eye like Cheryl has.
920-6803. You should have seen Ash before she cleaned him up.
She still wanted to clean me up.
His nickname was Scruffy.
She's not happy with the hair.
No, well, we love it. Wind services, wind electrical, wind generators. It is storm season. It is generator season. Make it a positive. Get you a generator. You've got it all year. Something happens to the power, anarchy sets in. You can have a propane powered generator. Everybody be coming to your house going, you got any ammo? We're coming over. Oh, you've got COVID, but you've got ammo? Now that's a redneck controversy right there. You're COVID plus, but you've got ammo. Huh.
Do you take a chance?
Grab a mask and a six-pack and let's go over to Ashes. But if you want to try solar panels with a battery backup, come on, reach out to Wind Services. They'll take care of you.
J-Dub says, oh, let me tell you about it.
Yeah.
J-Dub would know.
J-Dub wouldn't know. No, Jimbo slices, so the Wayne Carter party is off. No,
we're just waiting.
We're going to wait until, but I got to ask you guys this. If we all agree that the virus isn't going anywhere, and we all agree that at some point, barring, we're flattening the curve, we're not eliminating the positive cases. When are we going to open up? When are we going to rent Club Westerner and bring a band in and have a good time?
November 4th.
Is that, yeah, well, I'm telling you, I promise you this. When this election's over, you ain't going to hear nothing about this virus again. Done. Somebody's going to say, hey, we're going to quit talking about this every day. I mean, it just is what it is. Everybody knows to wear a mask. Everybody knows to social distance. And we've beat this horse to death. Let's move forward. That's what's going to happen November 4th, no matter who wins.
Yeah.
Right now, they're just trying to blame Trump for everything.
Now they're saying he knew earlier that the Russians were offering bounties to the Taliban for American bodies and death count.
But, okay, so let's deal with that. You know how many Americans have died in Afghanistan this year? Take a guess. Anybody? Take a guess. Americans dead in Afghanistan. Two. Come on, people. Don't let the media tell you how to think. These people are after your mind. They want to numb you down. They're bombarding you with so much data that there's no way you can comprehend it. It's 698 cases, 32 in the hospital, 8 dead. How do you feel? You want to go to work? You want to close up the shop and die? Be an American. Be an individual. Be a part of the team. I'm not complaining about wearing my mask at HEB. I don't wear it at home, and I dang sure don't wear it by myself in the car looking like an idiot.
Yeah, that one makes me chuckle. Behind my own mask with nobody in the car with me.
Right? Just going, talking to yourself. Dang, you're present. Shouldn't have had that second cup of coffee.
Where's my mints?
Right. You're slipping a Mento underneath the mask. You just barely pull the mask out of the stoplight, and while you're in there, you pick a little boogie. I mean, come on.
Compromise the mask. There's Errol Ursel checking in. Good morning, Errol. We're huge in Cochrane, Alberta this morning.
We're
Somebody asked, Chris Cox asked, what caliber rifle would you suggest?
Oh, I think a 223 is fine for zombies. I mean, if you want to go AR-10, if you want to throw that 308 for a little bit more distance, but the 223 is a nice flat round. It's very plentiful. I happen to have several thousand rounds. So, yeah, I just get up in the turret, the VCS turret.
Jimbo Slice's only 2 killed in action was a good day for him when he was in Diyala province.
Yeah.
Can't quick pronounce. Johnny Houghton, thank you for weighing in. I was hoping you would. He said there were bounties on Allied forces long before this ever came out. How do you think the Taliban recruited people who were dirt poor?
Exactly. Paying for playing. That's what that was.
Chris Cox wants to wish his son, Chris Cox Jr., happy 7th birthday.
You know, Chris, one thing you know about as much as you listen to the show, we never, ever, ever wish anybody a happy birthday. We didn't want to get caught up in that mess when it first started. So there's absolutely no chance that we would ever say something like, hey, little Chris, happy birthday, buddy. I know you're turning 7. We love your daddy. You've got a great name, and you just try to live up to that and be Chris Cox on your own. Happy
Enjoy
birthday,
7.
bud. Take care of yourself. We would just never do that because that's just not consistent with who we are.
Nope.
Now, next thing you know, all you're doing is happy birthdays, you know?
Clayton Meyer says, you better wear your mask in the car. You don't want to infect yourself with yourself.
Right?
Amen.
I survived 5 years at the University of Texas. I have a feeling I'm immune to a whole bunch of stuff.
How about the latest out of the Chaz, the CHOP? Another shooting. I think 4 people have been killed now in what they've called a peaceful.
It's the summer of love in Seattle.
Peaceful Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. These are people that want to get rid of the police. I bet you there weren't 4 murders in the CHOP all year. And now in what, 3 weeks of them taking it over, where they've had 4 people killed?
Yeah.
The latest, a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old got shot. Here's my next question. Where the hell are their parents? And what the hell are 16 and 14-year-olds doing out at night in the CHOP?
Well, that's right, because their parents are the stoners from Seattle that never instilled any common sense in their kids that led to their kids being the kind of kids that want to be down there. When I think of Seattle, I picture everybody but Boeing workers getting high all the time anyway. And based on Boeing's performance of late, maybe they're getting high too. Bunch of stoners, bunch of dope heads.
How do you come up with a name like Dreamliner?
Right? Hey, it's the Dreamliner, man. And it's followed by the Munchie Bus. Some levity in these serious times. You know, it's a pretty good program we do here. I like listening to you tell me what you tell me.
Yeah. What did they say? They were going to start taking down the CHOP?
Do you see the cops have they're not using pepper spray, oh, don't touch me. They're using bear spray. Oh, it's like the Hornet spray. It goes 30 feet. And all those guys were all tough. There was the guy in the back had the video. And there's the little redheaded guy with his mask on. He's a little frail, skinny guy. You guys suck. You policemen, you suck. And this cop just goes, and he goes, ah! And he ran off. And I thought, that's justice. You know what? If I was a cop, I wouldn't have a job very long because I'm ready to start beating on people and I'm not even a cop.
Errol's wife checked in.
Sky says that the parents of those kids are couponing.
Yeah. Awesome. Pat, you have a great day as well.
Pat, be well. We'll see you soon, man. You had a thought, but you lost it.
Well, no, I didn't lose it. It's going to be interesting to see what happens when the Chaz goes away and is disbanded. I can bet you, mark my words, there ain't going to be one single person who was involved in the occupancy of that 6 square block area in Seattle that takes part in the dismantling and cleaning up of that area when it's all said and done.
It'll be like Woodstock. They'll leave all their refuse everywhere and just leave.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that human nature being what it is. There were studies done years ago. They would build these huge apartment complexes, low-income housing. They would all be identical. They were all identical. And within 9 months, every one of them had some distinguishing feature, whether it be a hanging plant or a banner that hung over the rail. Everybody makes it their own. These Chaz and CHOP folks, they went up there saying, we're just going to occupy this and just show that we're going to give peace a chance and all that. First thing they did was build a wall and get some guns. Nancy Pelosi, she's all about open borders, no walls. Come on, let everybody come. Goes home behind her wall. Yeah. It's always good for somebody else when you're spending somebody else's money. But the reality is, those folks are criminals. They built a wall. They took over. The businesses that are held hostage are there's no insurance money for that.
No, the idiot city council member who wants anybody who is involved to be not prosecuted. That's one of their demands. Give me a break.
Yeah, I love Jimbo's comment. I'd send in the National Guard if I was the governor. I'd drop a leaflet to say you got 24 hours to get out of here. If you're under the age of 18, you better be home. Go in there. I'd go in there and then with any resistance after they've been warned, shoot them.
I saw a post the other day as a non-lethal way to disperse rioters and protesters who are not peaceably assembling.
Yes, sir.
Get a manure spreader or a manure gun
hit them with a bunch of cow poop. Well, the reality is once you hold a business hostage, even de facto hostage, you're no longer a peaceful protester.
No, I agree.
You're disrupting my ability to go. You know, if you take over Santa Rosa and I can't go, if you take over Bridge and Juan Lynn and I can't go to Chestnut, you're not a peaceful protester.
No, I agree.
Folks, we're going to get out of here today. We wish you nothing but the best. Stay
Yeah,
well.
we were going to get to sports. We didn't get there today, but
You
we
know
got a few
what?
things to talk about tomorrow. We'll tease you with it.
Yeah.
Cam Newton's found a new place to play,
And they're cheaters.
and they're cheaters. And Major League Baseball teams report tomorrow.
Have a great day. You guys know we love you. And feel free, formulate a thought and call us at any time. 361-575-9519. Take care. Bye.
Bye, folks.